I've interviewed Liam 3 times on the podcast, and every time he says things that stayed with me. He's thoughtful, he's sharp, and he's grounded in a way that's never fake or false. I always had the feeling, though, that I wasn't quite doing him justice because the format we used was just audio. And this matters with Liam. Because of his injury, it's not just about what he thinks, it's more about what it takes to express it. There's a gap between intention and movement that he fills with will, speech, walking, even like physical actions. They require a massive level of focus and effort that most of us would never even have to think about. So when you're listening to Liam, you're hearing something real. Or just behind it, remember that there's a constant kind of concentration and persistence that's going on right in front of you to do everything. And that might change how you understand them. So anyways, this time we made a little movie, a little documentary. We filmed it, not to make it more dramatic, but just to be more honest and show more of Liam's everyday, more of a full picture of what Liam goes through. Because the story isn't just what he says, it's in how he says it and how he moves and how he just keeps going. You'll notice as well that part of Liam's speech and the stuff has been sped up here. That was a conscious decision, but Liam makes it imperative to be upfront about these things, so I have to tell you that it's been sped up in times. It's not to distort anything, but just to keep the conversation flow going while respecting the authenticity and the reality of who Liam is. I hope you like it, and I'm grateful for Liam for trusting me with it, so thank you very much. Hope you enjoy it, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. Imagine if every step took your full concentration, if every word demanded your entire focus. In 1993, after meningitis damaged his cerebellum, that became Liam's reality. He wasn't expected to recover. What followed was not a miracle. It wasn't sudden, it wasn't dramatic. It was slow and deliberate, a relentless daily act of will, step by step, word by word, minute by minute until this day. For this is not a sad story of the past and what was lost. This is a story still being written, of defiance, strength, willpower and kindness. Because it's your man on the bike. It's Liam Cullinane. It's the Legionnaire.
Light and wisdom rise in my intellect as the sun rises over the world. So may the sun of gentleness, kindness, joy, happiness and purity rise in my heart. As this limited radiant sun rises over the world, so may the sun of strength, power, force, dynamic energy and activity rise in my will. And as this luminous, radiant, living sun rises over the world, so may the sun of health, vitality and vigor rise in my body. Amen. So be it for the kingdom of God and His righteousness. Amen. So be it for the glory of God. Oh, so my friends, there are so many things I want to understand, but my intelligence is so limited. But you are all light. You give light to the whole world. I know how generous you are. Please give me a few little cuttings from your immense intelligence. Oh, look at that funny creature down there. You think that is me. You look so small and puny, but I'm going to help you. I will. I'll give you all the help you need. I lust after the power that soothes, heals, and ameliorates all of humanity, the power that brings harmony in its wake. Old Solomon As the sun is the joy to them that spreads the book, so is my joy the Lord, because he is my son, and his rays have lifted me up, and his light has swelled all darkness from my face. In him I have acquired eyes, and seek his holy day. Eyes, old red Indian, great spirit, maker of the sun and the stars, I send my voice on the wings of an eagle to the cross of life, our Father the Son, created by you to give the life and warmth. Let me fly to the sun so that I may know you. Be perfect as your heavenly Father is perfect. Thank you, Lord, for letting me be here today to gain a little more health, a little more love, and a little more wisdom. Amen, Michael Ivanov. I too want to surround myself with the most beautiful colors. Red is the spirit of life. This planet is Mars, and if it's the muscular system, be aware of that red light pouring in through the eyes as the gift of life from God represents on the physical level, the sun going deep down into the solar plexus for storage and feeding the muscular system throughout the entire body. And be aware of some of that red light shooting out from your belt, your buckle, your shield, your center, your solar plexus, your heart, and your will, out across the land, across the entire globe, and out across the solar system, where it is received by the sun. Orange is the spirit of holiness. This planet, if you want to call it that, is the sun, and if it's the circulatory system, be aware of that orange light pouring in through the eyes as the gift of life from God to represent it on the physical level, the sun going deep down into the solar plexus for storage and feeding the circulatory system throughout the entire body, and be aware of some of that orange light, and be aware of some of that yellow light shooting out from your belt, your buckle, your shield, your center, your solar plexus, your heart, and your will, out across the land, across the entire globe, and out across the solar system, where it is received by the sun, not just as an insignificant offering, but as an acknowledgement of the fact that the sun is the source of everything.
Is sun gazing is a bit like marathon running. The first guy who did the marathon died of a heart attack. So that guy dropped dead when they delivered the news.
Wow.
Which was they won the battle and he died.
Yeah.
So if anyone who's never really done any form of physical activity, especially marathon running, if they get out of bed and immediately do a marathon, probably won't go too well.
No, they're likely to see an oncoming heart attack or something, depending on their physical shape. So you're saying it's the same thing with sun gazing?
Yeah, so sun gazing, the start is very important. So some people can do 10 seconds and build 10 seconds at a time. I was way too sensitive to do that. And I had to read quite a bit before I got to 10 seconds repeatedly.
You had to read quite a bit,
Repeat.
or repeat it quite a bit.
So what I had to do was see if I did the initial 10 seconds. Yeah, you found that it wasn't right. And it turned out that it took longer for my body to adapt. And so I had to repeat the 10 seconds each several times. And then I could move to 20 seconds.
How long did that take before you went from 10 seconds to 20 seconds? How long were you doing the...
Yeah, about 7 times.
What, 7 times?
Yeah, and same with 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 7 times. And it wasn't until I got to 2 minutes that I felt comfortable about jumping up 10 seconds at a time. And when I got to 6 minutes, I lost all sense, well not all, but I lost my sensitivity to light. So by that I mean, when I took ill, there was a bit of damage to the eyes. Not permanent, but for say 6 months or so. 6 months or so, I had double vision.
Okay.
And the double vision cleared by itself, but the sensitivity to light remains.
Okay.
So if it was a bright sunny day like now, I'd be wearing sunglasses. But then if I crossed the street and entered the shade, I couldn't walk with the sunglasses in the shade, which meant that if I was crossing the road and halfway across it went from bright sun to dark shade, I'd be stuck halfway across the road with a cross in each hand trying to take the sunglasses off.
Okay.
And not get too perturbed by all this traffic waiting for this big clown to cross the road.
Yeah.
So after 6 minutes, that normalized. There was no longer any sensitivity.
To light. And that was there, so for how long? Since 93?
Yeah,
Until when did you start this? About 7 years ago?
but about 10 years ago.
About 10 years ago. So it was there for like over 20 years.
Yeah.
And this was that why you went sun gazing? Was it like, okay, I've got a problem with light?
No.
No.
I was told about it by your friend and just kind of I felt that it makes sense.
Yeah.
And there's this footage of there was a little documentary by David Suto, shows me, I think you've seen that, on walking in the prom.
Oh yes.
On walking on the prom. And if you take notice of my eyes, I'm not looking ahead, I'm looking down.
Okay.
Because of the sensitivity, I wasn't capable of looking into the distance.
And that's gone now. Now you've no problem with light.
For me, looking down while walking is a problem, so that was a massive change. The big thing in the Alexander technique, where the head goes, the body follows. So if you're looking down, you're prone to going down naturally. So someone who walks with an upright posture, they will be looking ahead, not to the ground. But then on top of that, my physical situation, when I look at the ground, I lose it because it's almost like I get totally unfocused.
A friend of my mother's who I we were all friendly with ourselves. Like she was telling me one time, I remember that when he was first learning to walk, it would have been first learning to walk. He was trying to go up the stairs in the house, and he was adamant he was going up them stairs, and he wasn't able to climb them. He was too small, you know. And your one was saying he was going black and blue in the head, like with determination to get up them steps, you know. It just wasn't doable. Like, what are you doing? You know, there's no point trying to do that. Why try? You'll end up, you know. So I suppose there was that determination from an early age, if you like.
Yeah, you've been a great practitioner of like holistic methods of healing, and what some people might see as different methods of healing. You've tried so many of them. Is it a case of like you're just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks, seeing what works? Is it that you feel the kind of normal medical routes have limits, that they can't, you know, they can't achieve what other holistic things seem to be achieving? But you've tried so many dietary things, you've tried so many exercises, the sun gazing now. What do you think really works for you? And have you finished trying? Is there more things that you're going to try, that you're going to keep trying?
Oh yeah, there's always more.
Yeah.
As humans today, we think we're so cool. I mean, we got these mobile phones and all this technology, and we think we're shithouse. and in a couple of thousand years, well, all going well, in a couple of thousand years, when kids are looking at their history books, we'll come across as, say, the ancient Egyptians, all those ancient civilizations. We don't know much, really.
No, we don't know as much as we think we do. Yeah. What is that ball made of, Liam, that you're putting your whole weight on there?
It's a hockey ball.
It's a hockey ball.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not a soft ball. That's almost like a stone ball. I like that you're laughing. I don't think I'd be laughing if I was lying on it like that. I really don't think so. And what does this do?
It loosens the glutes.
Is that sore?
No, it's, well, at the start, yeah, the sweat would be pumping out of my armpits. It was that intense. Yeah, I mean, literally pumping. And if you graduate that pain level is 10, the pain level right now is 2 or 3 out of 10. Okay. To kill. So it was a big drag, walking around with these big knee supports.
Yeah. If we were repairing anything like a bike or fixing a roof on a shed or anything, he'd be, unless it was perfect, it was no good, you know. And if it wasn't perfect, he'd probably smash it up and start all over again, you know. So there was always that kind of aspect to him. I suppose the search for, I wouldn't say the search for perfection, but, you know, close to it. Like even in the artwork, he was a good artist, you know, artwork that he did. The artwork that he did was always, you know, if it wasn't his liking, he'd dump it, you know. And people were saying, "You mad? What are you at? Like, you spend 3 days doing that piece of work and then just in the bin," you know. So there is definitely that kind of aspect to his character, I'd say, where he won't accept, he's not willing to accept unless it's the best.
When you first got your diagnosis, and it was something like, it's not looking good, it's not looking like you're going to be walking or talking again, did you ever say, "Oh well, I guess it's time to just sit down and watch TV for the rest of my life"? Or because something inside you, when the doctor said, "You're probably not going to walk and talk again much," something inside you said, "Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am." Did you never believe them? Did you never see that for yourself?
when I was 19 was doing a night match, my first ever night match. And yeah, I wasn't mentally prepared for what this represented. So just the whole night walking, lack of sleep, all that, yeah, I wasn't ready for that. And all night I've been thinking, when we get to our destination, we're gonna let us have a few hours keep. And when we got to our destination, which was the grounds of an obstacle course, the senior colleagues, they automatically started getting ready, stripping off, preparing for it. Well, these guys are fucking headers. but we did the assault course, or the obstacle course, and I actually found it easier than normal.
This was after that massive long march.
Yeah, and I don't know, but it was like the body and brain were so bulked that the pain receptor just weren't giving the message to the brain, and I actually felt really relaxed after it. And within the mind is, if I was told to do it all over again. So it was then that it kind of dawned on me, I was, I think it was 19. It was then that it dawned on me that for the mind goes, the body follows. And that was a big lesson to learn as a young man, and it served me all my life.
And we were hanging around the hospital, and this doctor says to me, he's got meningitis. And again, I was 20 something, stupid, and I didn't know what he was talking about. I was like, what the fuck is that like? So yeah, I mean, over a period of time, it kind of dawned upon us. And then I suppose when he got moved out of that hospital, he was moved to another one because he had problems with his kidneys. Because when he was in that apartment, he'd been lying motionless for so long that your kidneys pass. They can't remember what they call it like, but you need to be moving all the time for your kidneys to be working properly. If you rely motionless for a couple of days at a stretch, your kidneys start to block up. So he needs dialysis. He needed dialysis. So they shipped him off to that hospital. And that's when the nurses and the doctor were saying, this lad's in a coma, you know. And it kind of dawned on me then. I was like, oh, Jesus, you know, this is not too good at all.
The doctors, I hope the kind of medical culture has changed, but I was never actually told by a doctor what was up with me.
Okay.
Thinking back then, so this was 93, I remember a doctor dude coming around on his ward run, followed by a flock of white goats. And this guy, he was they called him consultants.
Okay.
So kind of see your doctor, and he was asking me questions, but he wasn't actually looking at me. He looked at the register, and he asked him the question, and the register would ask me, or no, he wouldn't repeat the question. The register would look at me, and I'd speak. At the stage, I remember being in a wheelchair, legs crossed, looking at the consultant thinking, man, you are so lucky. 6 months ago, you'd be flying out that window.
Like, I know some people who don't know you, they're often visitors to the town, and they might think you're drunk because of the disability issues that you have. How often does it crop up in your mind? It's like, oh, if you met me a few years ago, you would not think this, or you know.
Yeah, I generally let those kind of situations just wash away.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, they kind of eat at you. But you know, some people, they reckon they're all peace and love, and they love to let it be known that they're a peaceful person.
Yeah.
And I'm all for peace, but I'm definitely not a peaceful person.
Okay.
If push comes to shove,
Yeah.
and just really hits the fan, then you'll see I'm not a peaceful person.
Prepared for war always, so.
Yeah, it's just kind of you're born that way.
Yeah. So what I'm getting from you is that there's an inner fight in you. You feel it burning inside. There's an inner fight that's just always there, undying, never quitting, doesn't even know quit.
Yeah, long story, but the consultant had told Harry that they were getting rid of me and sending me to a nursing home. And when Harry asked why, he was told, because your brother's never going to get better. And when Harry told me that, my ability to speak was very poor at the time, and I just smiled from the chortle. But my thinking was, I'm a fucking Legionnaire. We don't do that shit.
And did the Legion instill that mindset in you then?
Yeah.
So the Legion instilled that mindset.
Yeah, maybe I picked that up from ancestry.
Ancestry.
Well, your parents, grandparents.
So it's in you. They're in you. Where did it come from? Which side of your family do you think?
I'd say both, but more so the Scottish side.
More so the Scottish.
If you look up Jake Doreen, 1936.
Yeah.
That was the boxing name of my Scottish grandfather.
Yeah.
And he won the British
champion.
Yeah. I think his weight was welterweight. And he was a bit of a boy.
Yeah, there's some stories about him.
Yeah.
Not all in the ring.
Fucking the Foreign Legion, Jesus, you know, are you sure about that? Like, I guess, you know, he, after we moved from Edinburgh to Galway, you know, we had the setup in Edinburgh was nice. It was great, lovely place to live and grow up and everything, you know. So to leave that behind, I think, was a jolt more for him than it was for me. Would have been a jolt for everybody, like, but early 80s, so it would have been, the late 70s, where things were fairly down, in all fairness, you know. We were kind of, in Ireland, we were in a bit of a bleak situation back then. I suppose sometime throughout that period, you must have decided, you know what, I'm getting out of here. And how am I going to get out of here? Well, that was maybe a ticket out, you know. There's no doubt for sure that he likes a challenge, you know. So maybe he saw that as like a kind of togetherness of things, his ticket out, at the same time a challenge, seeing the world, and, you know, surprised. You'd say that, you know, you'd have to say, was I proud? I'd say it was probably the most thing, you know. It's like, Jesus, he's really gone for it, well done, you know. Because, you know, presumably there's not many of them that would hack it and get that far down the line where you get accepted into their kind of...
Okay, so the Legion instilled that mindset in you, that we don't give up, we don't quit, we get better. How did the Legion instill that in you?
The hardest thing in basic training, it's roughly 4 months. So when you join up, they conjure in a kind of like isolation from the rest of the regiment. Is the headquarters regiment of band in the band is near Marseille. And yeah, I was lucky. I was there only for, I think, just 1 week. They do your medicals, physicals, all that kind of stuff. And there's a security screening. So yeah, I don't know the exact details. I'm fairly sure that they automatically screen your name with Interpol. So any dodgy characters were wanted by Interpol, if they turned up the Legion would hand them over. And I was just out of school, so there wasn't much of a background story for them to check.
Okay, yeah.
So got straight through to basic training in about a week. Some guys have been there for over a month. So anyway, at the basic training, the hardest thing I found was the singing. So singing in French, and to be singing lessons, and for a member of, don't know what bloody time in the evening we'd be doing these singing lessons, and it's not working. And when it wasn't working, get up that hill. So we go up the hill, come back down, more singing, still wasn't right, get back up the hill. And so stuff, crazy singing, stuff like that. And the songs were largely about the culture, the tradition, about death. Okay. And it's I don't think the Legion specifically aims to brainwash people through singing, but the culture, the tradition, it definitely does have a huge effect mentally. So once you get your regiment and you are a Legionnaire, you have a very, very definite feeling of in the Legion, and then
everybody else,
the outside world, the real world.
Okay, so everybody else is civilians.
Yeah, and I think it was the second time I was on leave. It's on me. In the real world, they're all fucking crazy. I mean, in the Legion, there's no religion. Well, there is a chaplain, but basically there's no religion. So there's no, you're Buddha, you're Muslim, and you're Catholic, and none of that. So two guys from the north of Ireland, I probably know, probably over the years, well over the thousand. And I never even thought to inquire, are you Catholic or are you Protestant? Just didn't occur.
Once you were a Legionnaire, that was it. That was your identity.
And I'm not going to say I'm sure, but I imagine it's similar in other military units as well. That your background is not irrelevant, but it's fairly irrelevant.
It's definitely secondary, I'd say.
Yeah.
Like, so you take on the identity of a Legionnaire, and in that identity, in singing them songs and going up the hill and everything you go through together, in that identity, you get a lot of that strength. Is that
yeah.
what you're telling me? So the identity of being a Legionnaire, it's like, I'm not allowed to quit. I'll have to run up the fucking hill if I don't get this song right. Like, it's like, so it's part of your identity as being a Legionnaire, this non-quit, this. And once you're a Legionnaire, you're never not a Legionnaire. Is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's cool. I can see how there'll be a lot of strength in that. I definitely can. How often do you meet up with your old Legionnaire buddies now?
Roughly once a year.
Once a year.
The biggest celebration day in the Legion is Cameron. Cameron is a celebration of a unit of, I forget how many, but say 30 guys, 30 Legionnaires were doing a gold bullion escort in Mexico way back in the day, 18, I think it was 1861, somewhere around there. And next thing, they're surrounded by 2,000 Mexican bandits. Lads, give us the goals. Reuben, said the Legion boys. And so there was a fight. All the Legionnaires were killed except for 2. And the 2 who survived, at the stage, the Legion blood was run out of ammunition, and these 2 lads just charged the 2,000 Mexican bandits. And the Mexicans just let them go back and give the news to the crowd of what has happened. So the leader of the Legion Union, Captain Danju, he had a wooden hand, and that hand is like a relic for the Legion. So that hand is in the museum, in the headquarters regiment.
So you get together every year and celebrate the hand?
Yeah, those when we meet up, there's no mention of the hand. Just catch up with the lads, have a chat, a drink, have a meal.
Most of your Legion buddies, I can't imagine many of them have had as much of a fight continuing as yourself. You know, like, you seem to be in this kind of persistent battle with your injury. You know what I mean? You're like, and like, you're in incredible shape for a man of your age. Are your Legion buddies in that kind of shape?
So some are in top shape, some aren't.
Yeah.
But the one thing I learned in the Legion was, you know, that thing, never judge a book by the cover. So some guys, they don't look anything special, but they're incredible.
Okay.
So even though they might not look in the best of health, you could be pleasantly surprised.
I get you. You know, this determination you have, this indomitable spirit you have, does that come from the constant challenges that you have? You know, is it constantly tested? Your speech, your walking, it takes so much concentration, so much kind of effort, at least to get to where you are now. Do you think that kind of what am I trying to say here? Do you think that persistent battle has just made you stronger and stronger?
To an extent, but then when you see things getting bigger and bigger, faster and faster, better and better, it just becomes almost like second nature. So, for example, this position I'm in now, you could have offered me 20 grand to take this position for a split second, and I wouldn't have been able to do it. And it was only after working on the glutes, the ball started here, 6 months, really intense. And once that even out, I found that I could gradually move the ball up the glutes. And now I can have the ball at the side where Greg Miller, the guy who's told me about the Bahag ball, he stuck his elbow in there.
Okay.
And that was really intense. And after 4 years of gradually moving the ball up, I managed to put the Bahag ball on the side, and I can hold this position on fairly comfortably.
Like there's a saying, we might never know a Churchill if there was no World War II. Whatever you think of Churchill, you get the you get the idea.
It was bad to say.
But you get the idea. You know, we might never know what we're capable of until we're put in a spot where it's necessary. And like you've been in a spot where you need this strong mentality every day. You know what I mean? So is it the battle that's made the man?
I think that time I was in the coma, something happened. Don't know what, but it was like a tiny chink of light opened in the brain, and over the years that chink of light is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, so the awareness is increasing, and the more it increases, the more I think about the world and myself, and so stuff I think and ponder. You would have considered batshit crazy or total BS only a few years ago. So stuff like us humans, our body is actually a farm of bacteria, and maybe one of the bacteria in our farm is looking up, observing the farm around us and saying, "We did a pretty good job."
Okay, getcha.
And then you hear crazy stuff about the bacteria in the gut, how they actually control a large amount of what's happening. When I first heard about that kind of stuff, I was thinking, yeah, that can't be true. But then I thought, yeah, when I do eat shitty foods, so I remember as a kid, say Christmas, when you're eating loads of chocolate and loads of no good stuff, you'd actually be looking forward to when you get back to what you'd normally be eating. And then mentally, I don't ever fully give or set time aside. Just call it daydreaming. So I might be thinking of the killer squad in my body and telling them to go out and have some fun and kill. And
The killer squad, the killer bacteria that are going to eat the bad stuff.
so yeah, that sounds all fairly ludicrous, but it is scientifically verifiable.
Yeah.
And there's this term cell intelligence, and once again sounds crazy, but when you look into it,
just one simple cell is incredibly intelligent. So have you heard of that thing they call DNA?
Yeah.
The strand of DNA in one single cell is, I heard someone say, is 6 foot long.
Wow.
In one cell, and you got a lot of cells. So my thing is that we got all these cells. They're super cool, super smart, super intelligent, but they're not streetwise.
No.
And because they're so intelligent, it's almost like Big Brother in reverse. They're tuned into what's being said in the brain. And okay, when you go into the details, there's the subconscious mind, the conscious mind, and so on and so on. And we're only aware of so many things that are actually happening in your mind, but you yourselves are aware of all of it. So if you wake up in the morning or after the snooze, whenever, when you wake up, if you're feeling not great, if you start saying, oh, I feel like shit, what happens? The cells are, feel like shit. Okay, boss, feel like shit, and you feel like shit. Or if you tell yourselves cells something positive, it won't guarantee an equivalent improvement, but there's a very, very good chance that it will improve how you're feeling.
So this is really is your you're the where the mind goes, the body follows. So you're like, we can actually talking to ourselves is talking to our body almost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you wake up feeling shit, you're like, no, I don't. I feel actually okay. I feel pretty good today. I'm gonna have a good day today, and that actually brings about that day almost.
Yeah, there was a lad called Bob Proctor. I think he's dead now, and he was one of these kind of guru guys, kind of a business guru head, and he had a very positive influence on a hell of a lot of people. And one of his quotes goes, if I can remember, I can because I think I can. I am programmed for success. I believe I am a winner. I can do anything. My belief system is limitless. I can. And sometimes when I'm doing something basic, say I'm tying my shoelaces and I keep getting it wrong, which happens a hell of a lot of times. That's one skill I still haven't mastered, at least not fluidly. And there's times, yeah, you're not going through the whole quote. If I just say, I can, suddenly the attempt at doing up the shoelace sticks and get it done.
You get it done, yeah. So the mind has to convince the body sometimes. And the verbalization of it, even the internal kind of verbalization of it, helps a lot.
Yeah.
Like,
there's a guy, can never remember his name, a PhD professor at Stanford, and he was explaining the science of how if you change your internal dialogue from the first person to the second person, so instead of saying I can, because you can, the message that you bring illuminates
a lot of activity in the frontal cortex, i.e. it's more beneficial to talk that way to yourself.
Okay.
Is almost like, to me, it feels almost like there's an external being there looking down, saying to me, you can.
Yeah, I get you. So you got to be your own priest in a way.
Yeah. One of the best things about being your own, whatever you want to call it, is sheep.
It's cheap. There's no collection plate that goes around.
I'm just going to break up for a moment, do a few squats, have a wee chat to myself, and then we'll get back to jacuzzi in a minute.
No worries, my
A
friend.
message to the universe of saying, I am always that. I am the object to positive attention. I am appreciating your sensibilities on behalf of my well-being. And today, no matter where I am, no matter where I'm going, no matter what I'm doing, and no matter who I'm talking to, I will be conscious of wins that you are there with me. Jack Cruz was treating patients the way he was taught for many years, and then he had his own health challenges, and he basically figured out that there's more to the human body than what they tell you about in medical school. And he figured out that light had a huge impact on the functioning of the body, physically, mentally, emotionally. And it's only maybe 2 or 3 years back when I first became aware of him, or when I first became aware of him. And what I learned from Jack Cruz told me, or it answered a hell of a lot of questions I had about the way sun gazing was affecting me. Oh, me too, at the coffee shop, yeah.
The first time I got to see him really as an adult was when he had come back from the Foreign Legion, and he was a spectacular looking man then,
Yeah. And I remember his mum was lovely, Nora. I just remember that Nora had these boys. I mean, that's really would be the first time I kind of really knew about Liam before I knew Liam. She was a lovely lady. She was very warm, lovely personality. And, so before I ever met Liam, I knew that there was this Liam and Reuben.
The fact that he was in the Foreign Legion, got through that, that required an extraordinary mental ability as well as physical ability. So I'd say that helped him then when he faced his challenges then, after he got the meningitis,
Yeah.
So nobody else would have. Nobody else. If he didn't have that, he wouldn't be alive still and walking.
if he didn't have...
If he didn't have that extra resilience, strength, whatever it is, you know, I think there wouldn't be a chance that he would be alive. That's what. So I'd say he had to have it for it. That's what made him different and made him get better and walk and everything. Yeah, definitely. I'd say so.
I mean, and he's part of the fabric of Galway now, so he's got, you know, a lot of people know him, and they're always delighted to see him, you know.
And I think the publicity he's got and that feature in the newspaper and all that, more people know about him now. And I remember years ago when his bike was stolen or something, there was a thing and people was calling the man with the bike. You know, when he had quite his first bike was at 3 weeks. So he's been known, yeah, he is. He's definitely, you know, big part of the fabric, isn't he? Yeah, he is. He's very admired. He really is.
Very admired, and not just inside the family, but outside the family.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I've been looking, but I can't find anyone to say a bad word about him.
He's the regular. He's a fun guy. Always making jokes or everything.
Yeah.
It's always have a good vibe, you know.
Yeah, he does have a good vibe.
He's a nice guy. I like him. And his story as well. Like the story that he has is a completely challenge for everything, you know. Like what he passed and the way he faced the life is incredible for me. I think this is like the most like challenging thing that you can have in your life, and then it's still like facing like as a fun thing, you know. I don't know if it's I don't know if it was myself, like I would be like this kind of situation, it would face like the same way, you know. It's tough.
No, I mean, when I saw him the first time in Air Square, I kind of said, what is your man doing? Kind of, you know, I didn't know him then. I only saw it, and he was like...
Which, the mixed leaves? It's €20 kilo. So,
you know, and if you cross a
bag
big
is €2-3
square in that tempo, but he was just
like this, Reuben?
not sitting down. I'm not giving up. And he's still like that.
270. 130.
The most positive person in the world.
He's already famous.
See him every week. We see him every week. We do, yeah. He's rain or shine. He's here.
You have organic fruit here, so that's the
Organic veg. Yeah, we're here. Yeah, all grow most of it ourselves. This time of year we buy in a bit, but for the rest of the year it's all growing ourselves and having our point.
Very good.
I'm always impressed at Liam's get up and go. Nothing stops Liam, despite being the wibbly wobbly man. No, that's a new one for me. You know, it's really, that's an amazing thing.
Before time, well, we've known Liam a good many years now. And always impressed with his determination.
Liam. How are you?
Yeah,
Enjoying life. Were you up for the sunshine, were you?
yeah, I've been out in the sun, well, apart from a cup of coffee.
Yeah. Where'd you go? The long walk?
Down at the beach.
Yeah.
And then over to the long walk.
Oh, nice.
And then went for a cup of tea. But to tell the while, I was so cold that myself to coffee in the tent to warm up.
Yeah. Was it windy like? Is that why?
Yeah, cut through.
Cut through, yeah. Not too bad though. These oysters will warm me up now. Don't worry. Bro. Yeah.
You know Liam from coming here?
A while now, yeah.
Yeah.
One of our regulars.
Yeah.
How long have you been coming here, maybe? What?
For the officers, I was only
I was a lot smaller when Liam started coming here. Anyway.
Really?
Yeah. I'd say I was, 10 years old maybe, Liam? I don't know now, Jesus. It's been too long.
lost.
It's always in early as well. I forgot how to count. How would I describe Liam? Very kind, of course. Very funny. He's quick with the humor, of course. I don't know. A good friend. An old friend. As in I've known him for a long time. I'd say, yeah, that's what I got to say about him.
To us all. He's so positive thinking all the way.
Great man.
Yeah.
I love Liam. I love you.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Oh.
In the summertime, get some fruits over a couch of salt, and then I plonk on the warm grass, have a feast, and then stretch on these railings under the sun.
We have like very nice chats, like at the shop and stuff. And yeah, he was just like talking about this, like basically how the sunlight feeds us more than food. Well, from what I understood, but I'm just taking a picture to research that.
So this is a lovely, genuine person, just with a huge heart, just really strong, I would say. That's Liam. And he's always in a good mood, always has a bit of joy, sunshine to spread. So he's a wonderful person.
Oh, Liam was my neighbour in Coolock. I knew Liam when he was in the Foreign Legion, when he was a young man. Yeah.
So you knew him growing up?
I saw him. Yeah, when he was joined the Foreign Legion back many years ago.
85 to 92.
Yeah.
So you remember him coming home with all the
I remember him
muscles,
coming home, running up and down our road. Yeah. Jack, he was always training.
How would you describe him?
Oh, he's an amazing guy. I have a great time for him, Liam. Yeah. He's an inspiration guy. Yeah, very much. Yeah. He's just his strength of his resilience and his mindset. Excellent, Jack. Always in good form. Anytime I meet him, he's always in good humour. Yeah.
When I was in the hospital in Glasgow, Harry was studying in Edinburgh, and it would be a hell of a long trek to come through. Edinburgh was only 50 miles away, so that's an hour on the train, but then they'd have to get 2 buses out to the hospital, and we'd been through the trauma of getting ill and all the rug and blah blah blah. But that never done to me, just buying my car. But then, my first trip away from Glasgow was down to Paisley. An aunt and uncle. The uncle was working with digital. I think the plant in Galway was closed, but they still had one in Paisley, so he was over on a 6-month contract. So Harry picked me up at the hospital and we drove down. One of his flatmates had bought an Alfa Romeo for 50 quid.
It's a cheap Alfa Romeo.
Cheap, it was a friggin' brass bucket. And man, could this thing move? And I've been stuck in door for months. And Harry's he's a great driver, really fast, but you feel safe. Yeah, he's so his senses are so up there, he's flaking down. And I feel like you know when you're in the lift and the lift is going up too fast, and your belly feels like it's 3 stories below. I felt like this time and time again on the way down, but all I was saying was faster. The thrill this feeds after me. Stuck in the room for months. That was pure bliss.
Yeah, was the danger, the thrill? I mean, you'd live such a fucking thrilling life, really. Going to the Legion, rugby is a buzz. It's got danger. Then you decide to feck off and go up and knock on the door of the French Foreign Legion and say, "Can you let us in, please?" And they did. So then you ended up in the high-level elite parachute regiment, and then all of a sudden, then you went climbing the Himalayas or the foothills of the Himalayas. Then you were in Egypt and you were doing diving over there. Then you went to Scotland to Fort William, and that's where you were training to become a commercial diver. I mean, danger and thrills are like all throughout that. So when you were in the hospital, even though you didn't believe the doctors when they said you weren't going to walk or talk again, what about the thrill? What about the buzz? Did you think, where's the danger going to come from? How am I going to be thrilled, buzzed?
Where are they going for dinner?
I'll get back to two of the things you just mentioned. The thrill and it's escaped to me. The thrill and when I originally started 5 minutes ago talking about Harry coming through from Edinburgh, eventually I was shipped on to Edinburgh to the brain injuries unit of Scotland. And that's a repetition. That's where Harry was told I was going to nursing home. But because I was in Edinburgh, that meant Harry could just hop in the bike and in 5-10 minutes he be up in the water with me, so it was great. But I remember, okay, the first real escapade out of hospital was that trip down to Paisley. Now, that was my first overnight trip away from hospital. And then in Edinburgh, I remember Harry brought me down to his flat. And his flat was on the first floor, no lift. And it was incomprehensible to picture or even fathom the thought of asking me to walk up the stairs. Like, I couldn't even get out the wheelchair. So I'm sitting in the wheelchair, I'm standing behind them, just pulling it up step by step. And I want to do this cucumber, thinking, man, if let's go, I'm in big trouble. So that was a bit of a thrill in itself, worrying that he might let go.
So Harry was pulling you back up the steps one by one by one.
Yeah.
And you were actually enjoying it. The thought that he might drop you, just being in danger, just...
Well, that uneasy feeling, I felt natural, felt good.
Yeah.
Felt that I was getting back to the world of reality, of the real world where stuff like that actually occur.
Yeah.
When you did.
I remember those stairs were the steps going up to my apartment in Edinburgh, you know. Lovely old place it was. Lovely place. And but to get him up there, Jesus Christ, and it was like pulling him up the stairs, you know, backwards. I wouldn't try it now. And back then, fortunately, he probably weighed a lot less than he does now. And I was probably a bit more backbone to me, you know. So yeah. And then I do recall that thing in Edinburgh. It's like, it's not like San Francisco's, but there are one or two downhill kind of things. And I was messing with him then, all right, like kind of letting go of the wheelchair. And he was just like, you know, and just grabbing it before it was like too late for him, you know. He was like down the end of the street, straight into a bin or something, or into the back of a bus. But yeah, I suppose just to have a bit of crack, I suppose, you know. But
at this stage now, like when you were in the hospital and you were going through all this stuff, was there no element of, fuck this, I'm just going to curl up and fucking go to that nursing home and fuck the world, I'm done? Was there any element of that? Did you have to fight that feeling, or was it just not present?
It just never came up.
Never came up.
Yeah, the dreams I had, they were. Have you seen the film Body Snatchers?
No.
Right, you need to see that film. You know how the people say, oh, exorcist, the film. Exorcist. How am I pronouncing that correct?
Yeah, The Exorcist, yeah.
Yeah, The Exorcist. The people going about how scary that is. Okay, it is scary, but you know it's make-believe. But the Body Snatchers, fuck me, man. It's fucking shit scary. It's shit fucking real. That bullshit with COVID of this virus supposedly taking over the world. That was a tamed-down version of the Body Snatchers.
Okay.
But the lead character in the Body Snatchers, at the end of the film, the entire human race has been
snatched.
Yeah. Okay. They've been overtaken by your virus. The way to work is the virus would get this put. It came from outer space, and the film shows his speckles of dust coming through the atmosphere. And when a person would fall asleep, the virus would strike then. And as they were sleeping, a carbon copy of them, like a clone, would grow in minutes beside them, and the sleeping person would never awaken. The clone would, but the clone didn't converse like a human. It looked like a human, but didn't have vocalization. And eventually the virus overtook the whole human race. And the virus could detect he was a clone, and he was a human by reading a human's thoughts. So the last human knew that as long as we didn't think in such a way, the virus wouldn't detect them. So this guy was functioning okay in the world of the humans that were overtaken by the virus. And then one day he slipped in his mental thought, and the crowd of humans around him, just doing about everything in the street, just stopped, pointed at the guy, and that's when the film stopped. And in the stream, all these white ghosts who were trying to kill me, they were like there.
So you had recently watched The Body Snatchers, or it was still in your memory?
Yeah, and in the dream, at the end, the last part I remember of the dream, I was outside the hospital, and my mission was to get back into the hospital, and I was butt naked, freezing cold, got into the hospital, and I must have been in the hospital canteen. I was hiding under the table, and there was all these elegant legs in high heels, black tights and white skirts. So the white skirt, the white overcoat over the skirt, and over on the other side of the room was a kebab, a giant kebab. And my penis was in the kebab. Jesus. And I'm under the table. I'm like naked, distance down below the gone.
Because it's in the kebab.
Yeah, there was a film, I forget the name of it. For some reason, Alanis Morissette comes to mind. Maybe they were using her vocals, or maybe she started in it. I can't remember. But there was an angel appeared to a human, and the human said, "Oh, you're not a fucking angel." And he goes, "What do you mean I'm not an angel? Look, I'm there. Nothing. I'm an angel." I remember that. So
this was all in your dream.
Yeah. I'm looking at that kebab and I'm thinking, how am I going to sneak over there and somehow get my penis out of the kebab? And then next thing, I'm in the room, and Harry's telling me the good news of, yeah, we could be awkward, trying to get this thing called meningitis, which is extremely rare. And then on top of that, you're going to be a really awkward loose, and you're going to get an extremely rare form disease. And I'm listening, and yeah, I vaguely heard the name meningitis somewhere before. I don't know what that is, but I do know it's something you don't want to have any contact with. It's all good with Harry. He paints it very positively, mix it. Yeah, none of this for me baloney, oh, you're in for the shit or anything like that. He presented it with a kind of smile and wink. But like if it's a challenge, he didn't say it, but it came across, oh, you think you're a tough motherfucker, well, let's see how you get out of this one.
See tomorrow, and he heads off. And I'm in the bed, and okay, not much happening. A bit of movement in Norwich Town. I lift up the sheet and see what's below, and I was convinced 100% there was going to be a Stonehenge configuration of 12 penises. And after quite some time, I was propped up in pillows, so kind of, and I didn't have to raise myself for that thing. Went to lift the sheet, got the view, and there was only one penis.
That was your one?
Yeah, it was all mine. And it wasn't a disappointment that there was only one.
And it sounds like like you were in a bit of a kind of fever dream. So from when the meningitis happened to you in the apartment until you kind of woke up in the bed and saw Harry, your consciousness was somewhere, but it was in some dream, and all these like horror movies and stuff were coming back to you, and they were making up some kind of world that you were in. That sounds really fucking frightening.
With the trauma from so the brain injury was crushing. It was the meningitis, basically crushed injury from outside. Then I had the crushed injury from inside. Because I was, the thing attacked you where you're shaking so much. I was over the shop, and I was shaking like crazy. I was hyperventilating. The doctors, they just paralyzed the lungs. I don't know, but they paralyzed me, and the lungs stopped working. So put me on the ventilator. That allowed the body to start wasting energy trying to breathe and work on fighting the medical problem. And then there was umpteen things that went wrong. So kidneys failed. I was on dialysis with ship between. I was on the Great Southern General, and we shipped through to the Glasgow Infirmary for dialysis, and I was happily asleep for all of this. So I'm not sure how many times I went back and forth. The lungs failed, kidneys failed, the heart enlarged. The kidneys failed because there was such a dramatic weight loss that I think let me think of the name. Rhabdomyolysis. Rhabdo something. I only remember his rhabdo for happening because of rhabdosis of it. And so that you get that way from too much protein hitting the kidneys. So the body was just gobbling up all the muscle, and flooded the kidneys with protein and shut down the kidneys. So there was a lot of trauma to the body, and then with all the drugs to counteract the trauma, I was pretty confused.
Yeah, man, you were going through some amount of stuff at the same time.
So pretty confused, but I was, they sent a psychologist around and reckon I was in a state of euphoria, so you could drop a pin in the room. And I find that freaking hilarious.
But you still smile a lot. You still seem to, humor is a big part of your life.
And I remember, as time went by, I was vocalizing again, but vocalizing poorly. And the best example I can think of how brutal it was when the nurses came to the rooms or whatever. And when she was leaving, she asked, will I leave will I close the door or not? And I said, no. And she closed the door. And I remember giggling at that thing. Man, I'm really in the shit. She thought I said the opposite of what I said. So instead of hearing what I said no, she heard yes.
Okay.
And then in physio, at this stage I was more or less bedridden, and they gave me balls, kind of, yeah, they're, I forgot what you call them, they're kind of bead valves, and I was supposed to throw them to visitors, and they throw them back to me, and back and forth. Yeah, therapy. But see I threw the ball to you. Yeah, if I threw the ball now, it would go right to your hands. But back then, I'm lying in bed, and I throw the ball. It will land there, and I'm there. I think I'm fully in the shit here. A lot of work ahead.
It must have been, I mean, it must have been some come down from the physical kind of peaks that you were at. You know, it's like people get sick, you know, but and they lose their physique, but like they lose their physical abilities, but not many of them would have had the physical abilities that you had at the time to lose. It must have been a big. I know you don't seem to concentrate on the loss or the negatives, but it must have been. It must have been a big hit to lose that much. Like you were described earlier by one of the lads, you look like fucking James Bond back then. You know what I mean? In all your Foreign Legion gear and that. So, what did it not? Was it not in your head, Jesus, it wasn't that long ago, I was so strong and so big and so...
Yeah, but I hope the lad referring to James Bond was talking about Sean Connery, who by far, other than Sidney Poitier and Muhammad Ali, two black dudes, by far the most beautiful man I've ever, okay, could be me, debatable, but to me they're the two most beautiful men ever. And the next most beautiful handsome man is Sean Connery, but Sean Connery is number one on the list as far as I'm concerned. In terms of sexiness.
Okay.
That lad, can you imagine when he was a young guy in his element, he could walk into a room full of 20 women, and women be almost unable to stand because their knees have turned to jelly.
You're just trying to big up the Scottish accent that he had. That's what it is. Speaking of Muhammad Ali, he's another man who had an incredible physical prowess. I mean, everybody knows who he was, what he did. But that too, there was something very sad about that because he lost it. That was the thing that he lost, and he lost his speech, which was so, I mean, that is what he was famous for. I was watching an interview with Muhammad Ali, and the guy was kind of asking him, how does it feel when people feel sorry for you, and how does it feel when you get sympathy? And he said very slowly but still rhyming,
I wasn't in my office.
nobody should feel sorry for me because I'm still Muhammad Ali. I thought it was.
Keith Cunningham is my name. I know Liam from around Galway, but first got to know him when he started coming to my yoga classes. So I taught yoga full time for about 12 years in Galway, and used to teach the Connacht rugby team, and my wife Lara and I had, I think, 5 yoga studios at one stage. But I got to know Liam, because he came to the classes in the place above Lidl that time, I think it was, Liam, and used to come into the classes, and he was kind of on his journey of recovery, and would come into the class and just be incredibly positive and just go for everything. And then we just became friends. We used to chat after the class, or he'd be going around town in the bike, or need a lift somewhere, throw the bike in the boot if need be. But I've come across a lot of people down through the years. I still teach yoga on Sunday nights, probably done it now for like 20 years at this point. So I've seen a lot of people approach yoga and approach life in different ways. I'm in business. I started a place called the Porter Shed with some friends, a tech hub in the city and that. But the thing about Liam that always inspires me is just the always keeping improving, all of the striving and effort that he does, and the relentless positivity, which is just infectious, So sometimes I'd be in the class and I'd see him there doing what he can do, and we saw good improvements coming with the yoga, but it's just the relentless positivity and striving to go forward that I think is just inspiring for anyone. So I've been fortunate to have a lot of professional athletes and Galway hurling teams and football teams and All Ireland winners in the classes and that, but there's very few that would give me as much joy to see as Liam. And incredible guy.
So I work in Sheridan's in the cheese shop, and that's how I know him. He comes in for St. Olash, it's always the same thing.
Okay.
And he's always lovely. He's always a great crack. He's good fun. And then the odd time as well, outside the church, you'd see him working out. And up where I live, I see him cycling. So he's someone that I kind of have a rough idea, someone's mentioned before, of the condition that he's in. But to keep going the way he does, I think is really impressive. And I think he's really strong. And to keep having fun the way he does is a really cool thing. So, yeah, props to Liam.
I have to say that's pretty impressive, Liam.
Thanks. In time, the need will come to the face. In time.
Is that what you plan to do?
Yeah.
So be bent like totally in half?
Yeah. So at first, So that really, and you know, the competitive divers, the Olympics and the sports divers, to be jumping off the diving boards and guy going through the air and the knees right up at the face. Yeah, I always thought that was super cool.
It is.
But it's only in the last few months that I found out how to gain that flexibility, and it takes time, but it's shit easy.
Really?
I'll show you the thing. Yeah, I saw it on YouTube. Yeah, a gymnast giving not tutorial, but just
like.
Yeah. I first saw this guy talking about how to build strength. He's the guy that first made me aware of, you know, that thing I was telling you about, where you go from press to you're in the position. This guy has a couple of handstands on the floor, or a couple of stands, pressing on them, tilts his head forward, and at the same time his legs come up. Of course, I'm under a frigging gap in the canopy.
Yeah.
And I think I'll face you.
No worries. And this is like, okay, I met you this morning, we were at the beach. Then you went over, you did these similar exercises with the hockey ball. A few times throughout the day now, maybe 3 or 4, you stopped to do the squats in different places. And now we're back doing the hockey ball exercises again. Are these necessary?
Yeah.
And what is it that happens if you don't do these, shall we say?
If I don't do these, one, then the knees get sore. 2, I become a danger to myself and others, not having a stable gait.
Okay. So these help you walk up and down the street and keep your balance and all that stuff. So if you don't do these, you don't really do much.
Yeah, I don't do these because I want to be on Instagram and one day and say, look at me!
No, you
I
don't
woke up with a super body just like that. Well, actually, I took a pill. It's a mixture of Ozempic and some of the magic ingredients. The way the advertisers for the Ozempic go on, you swear it was 1000% beneficial with 0 side effects. It's also garbage.
Yeah, I don't know much about Ozempic now.
Oh, it's really bad.
Is it? There's a lot of people taking it now.
You can see why people take it. They're really overweight. But the way I see it, anything you take, any artificial pill geared towards weight loss, is not addressing the root cause, just covering things up. And then there's things for it that are free, like sleep, getting up at a good time of the day, getting your ass outdoors. Stop wasting your life watching TV and looking at all this blue light screen garbage. Trying to become aware that just like me, you're as thick as shit and no jack shit. we think we know a lot, we know both diddly.
Yeah. The famous man once said, I'm smart because I know nothing.
Yeah. And once again, I keep forgetting who said that.
Socrates.
Socrates, they're right.
Yeah.
How far back is he? A couple of thousand years? Minimum.
2.5, 3,000 years ago. Yeah. He was wise to it then, I guess. But,
as far as I remember, he was something like 60, 70 years of age when he stopped himself. Well, obviously, top of his life, he didn't have much of a choice.
Yeah. I'm not sure what age he was, actually. I don't know that. What age Socrates was when he died.
Yeah, I think he was elderly.
Yeah. I think we have a bit of a misconception when we talk about lifespan back in the olden years. I mean, infant mortality.
That's exactly what I was going to mention. So even when I was young, all the heroes to me, Leonardo, Da Vinci, all these great artists, how many of them died when they were 30? It's a bit like saying I've only got half a finger with which to count those deaths under 30 years of age amongst the well-known people in history. They're all fairly getting, well, not all, but most of them are beyond 50.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you made it through the infancy age, you were what we now call a tough motherfucker.
But to me, you've talked about heat a few times during the day, but I don't think we've got it on camera. Body heat and body temperature is very important to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's changing over the years. So when I took ill, tolerance for cold was 0. Yeah, get cold even on a beautiful sunny day. I wouldn't wear shorts, firstly because it would take me about 3 days to do up one button. But then if someone did do up the buttons for me, drafts would get in, and so when even now if I start shivering, the coordination just goes to shit.
Okay. So a lot of these exercises that you do throughout the day is just kind of keep the muscles warm, keep them flexible, keep them moving.
It's yeah. Obviously to maintain flexibility and all that, but the main reason is I want to walk up the street without this is freaking hilarious when it happened. I'm walking up the street, mother goes past, and in her left hand is the right hand of her child, and the right arm is out like this, and the kid's being dragged up the street. The kid's too busy looking back at me, thinking, what the fuck is that? I've never seen one of those before. Yeah, you see the look of complete mystification on the show. It's hilarious.
Kids don't hide that kind of stuff like we do.
Yeah, it hasn't happened in the world, but obviously I prefer the situation not to rise.
Okay, so ideally you want to walk up the street and nobody realize there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, so things like
I phrased that wrong. There's nothing wrong with you. Nobody realize you're dealing with it.
Yeah, I used to be considered what's the word? What's the word for brain damage? Someone's badly brain damage. Vegetable, human vegetable.
Oh God, nobody's calling you that, are they?
Oh yeah, back in the day when I was offered to come, people thought I'd become a human vegetable.
Was that the prognosis kind?
And they were going to switch off the machine.
Okay, now.
Yeah, my aunt she's not living in Toronto. Back then she would have been living in, back then she was living in Toronto. She's now in Vancouver. She's packed her bag to come back for the funeral. That's how close to was.
Your auntie?
Yeah.
She packed her bags to come back for the funeral?
Yeah.
Wow, that was You're pretty much a miracle that you're here at all, aren't you? Never mind doing what you're doing.
Yeah, extremely lucky. And only recently that aunt, she messaged me about that on WhatsApp. And she instead of packing my case, she had car instead of the case. And then she wrote a note down under the message saying that should be suitcase instead of the car. And I wrote back, I would have loved to have seen you rolling up to check-in and your noisy motor stinking up the whole terminal building with your exhaust fumes. The Scottish side of the family, they were all a bit bananas. Well,
Good crack in other
yeah,
words.
pretty crack. I call her my Aunt Jeannie. She's actually my mother's aunt, but Jeannie was only, I think, 5 years older than my mother, so they hung together through all their lives. And I remember before the two girls went to see Jeannie in Glasgow with Harry, and I was laughing so much, my guts were in pain afterwards leaving the hall. My guts, they call them my abs. they were in pain. They felt like me doing a section of sit-ups.
I get you. That's a nice pain though from laughing. That gut pain.
Yeah, and the word that was finished to use instead of bananas was batty.
Batty.
Yeah.
Scottish word, real Scottish word. You've gone batty. Tell us about your mother, Liam.
Have you ever seen, let me think of her name, the actress who starred in film of the World War II movie, that plays Morocco? Oh man, Lauren Bacall.
Oh yeah.
She was on the Late Late Show. Had the whole audience eating out of her. She had them wrapped around her pinky, and that's my mother.
She looked that much like your mum?
Not looks, but yeah, my mom was in her age. She was a bit of a slender, but her charisma. So yeah, I remember back when I was a teenager, out on Bray Hill, some strangers came to the house. I can't remember what they were doing. Maybe they were Jehovah's Witnesses or something like that. I'm not sure, but mother invited them, cup of tea and all that jazz, and they felt like they were singing their beloved dance. She had that effect on people.
Okay.
And yeah, you asked me about strength early on. And I was saying, ancestry is where the largely comes from. And you were asking what side of the family, and I said, both, but mostly Scottish. And I definitely got quite a bit of that from my mother. Son.
And what age were you when she passed?
20. Just over 2 weeks before I was 21, and on that day she would have been 50, so we were fairly close. I was her eldest child as well.
Yeah. So you were already in the Legion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was largely through Harry. He was bad during the regiment, to letting them know the situation, and I was allowed to go back to Edinburgh to visit her on her deathbed. She was in the hospice, and when I was saying goodbye to her, that's the first time I said I love you, Mum, and that's the last time I had a proper cry. The cry was extremely painful. All the muscles in my face, all those muscles were in pain. Yeah, just from being so contorted.
Yeah.
So the nearest I got to crying like that again was only a few years ago during the pandemic. Her best friend Reuben died, and when I got the news, I got a similar facial sensation of pain, but the eyes could feel them. Could feel them welling up and nothing was come.
The last time you cried was when you were 20.
Yeah,
for your
so
mum's
that was
death.
88.
And you say you got a lot of strength from your mum. And a couple of people I've talked to even today have mentioned your mum and how lovely she was and all.
Yeah?
Yeah, up in the cafe there with your cousin and his wife.
All right.
His wife mentioned her. Do you think something calcified in you after her death?
Well, yeah.
Something hardened?
Yeah, I think I mentioned to you before the kind of some kind of magic, well, not magic muscle, but along those lines of the jungle. And I think I need to do something like that to get in touch with the emotions. After you feel it kind of close things off.
And you closed them off when you were 20, 21?
Yeah. So I tend not to get overly involved emotionally.
And have you had a partner, a woman?
That's a sore one now.
Yeah, I know. I'm hoping that you're in pain already, so you won't mind talking because that ball is sitting under your butt.
Everything was done, and he was meant to come back down to me in Edinburgh, stay there a couple of nights with me, I think, and then he was heading to, I didn't know it, but he was heading to Amsterdam, where he had a sweetheart waiting for him, Yeah. And I can't remember if it was Amsterdam because he was going out there on a job or he'd found a job, or because he was going to meet this his lady. I can't remember her name. She was an Australian woman. I met her subsequently to that. But anyway, God love her, she was waiting for him over there. And I was waiting for him in bloody well Edinburgh, and there was no sign of him,
Like any man, met women here and there over the years. But it wasn't until I was 20, but not long after I left the Legion, I met a girl and we got on well. And this was in Egypt. And we flew into London together. And I headed back to Galway. And she had her way, but I thought, that's it, bye-bye, end of story. But she got the contact, so I contacted her, and I was saying that I'm doing a course over the course in Fort William. I'll see you after that. And only, remember, but only a week or two beforehand, I wrote a quick, she wasn't great for writing letters. I was saying, I'll be over shortly. She wrote back giving instructions all together, and she'd be here working, left myself in, blah, blah, blah. And of course, I never showed. So
because you got sick?
She thought I stood her up, and in the meantime she met someone else, and we're still in contact. She's a really close friend, but that's it.
So the closest she came was kind of that girl?
Yeah.
But she thought you stood her up, but actually you got meningitis and got sick and were in hospital and are still dealing with the consequences of that. And
strange world.
It's a very strange world. And I know I'm getting deep here now, but I know there's women around this town that fancy you and talk highly of you and you know what I mean? But you've just never, you're not able to get close to them, is that it?
It's, I don't know, it just never happens. I find, I don't know if it's my imagination or what, but I find that when I get anywhere near close to a woman, I feel a bit of a punker, start acting not me.
Okay.
Me even thinking of me, and yeah, maybe I just don't like being that mindset.
Okay. Okay, I get you.
Maybe there's a deep thing in the subconscious where they're saying, oh, love equals possible death, so avoid that.
Why do you say love equals death?
Because I met a girl. Yeah, I didn't know I was actually in love. But then when I was doing the diving course, the first time I found her, my legs turned to jelly, or my knees turned
That's
to
love,
jelly.
all right, yeah.
I thought that only happened to women when they were crazy about the man, so I was, what's happening? Yeah. That's the, you've never had that kind of feeling. You've been extremely close with other women, but no one's made my knees
tremble like that.
Like jelly.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, it happens, and yeah, love definitely changes you, and yeah, you know, all the kind of love songs and love movies and kind of paint love like a good thing. It's not necessarily though. There's a lot of pain involved in love. It's true, a lot of pain involved in love.
I love Johnny Cash's song. Burn, burn, burn.
You burn.
Fire.
Yeah. What was your mom's name, Liam?
Him?
No, your mom. What was her name?
Mom. Oh, Nora.
Nora.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you remember any stories about her when you were young? Something you remember about the time together?
Eeny, meeny, was a eeny, meeny, pinky mouse. I have to hurrying myself to bed at night and going to let that eeny, meeny, mouse. And then asking if you were hungry. Back in the 60s, 70s, you were always fucking hungry.
Yeah, that's what I remember about the 80s too.
The month line, well, practically every day we come home from school, there'd be nothing edible. But Mom would come home and suddenly there'd be dinner, so I don't know if she was hiding it under the walls. But funny stories, tons of them, just can't think.
Do you think her death had a big effect on your psyche?
Yeah, I just thought back out kind of bodies don't know where you call the place where there's bodies, but I'm kind of happy to keep it there.
Yeah. Does it, that kind of calcifying of your emotions from that, is that kind of some of the strength you have?
Never really thought about that.
Yeah. And I'm not trying to name it, I'm just trying to coax it out of you. I don't know. I don't know, you know. Got everybody we've met today, we've got a few testimonials, like in the word resilience, some man, just everything, he's so strong, always so joyful, always so happy. You seem to, I'm wondering, and I'm just spitballing here, you can tell me I'm talking shit. I'm wondering if the worst thing that could ever happen to you happened to you when you were 20. And ever since then, nothing can hurt you.
No, it's not worse.
No, not worse.
Do you mean my mother's at? So what the colour dwarfs? Death is going to happen at some stage. I'll say for Reuben it was the worst. So if Reuben is my youngest brother, so there's myself and Hardy and Paddy. Paddy was, I think it was 14, 15 when Nora died. Reuben was only up B9, so still a lot of development to be had.
Yeah.
And my dad, he was publican, so he was barely around. And Reuben, to a large extent, brought himself up. And Nellie next door, she's dead now. She would have been a bit older than Nora, but not that much. And she helped Reuben a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
When you get to know Reuben and his brothers, you can see the difference between Reuben and his brothers. So yeah, none of us did well at school. And Paddy, civil engineer, Harry, he became an accountant, didn't enjoy the move on to better things. And I got that degree in philosophy, French philosophy, an art degree. So 3 brothers who had the mother for most of their life went on to 3rd level education, completed it. Reuben by a country mill, and I'm talking a big country mill. He is more intelligent than the 3 was. He never went on to 3rd level, 0 interest. But his knowledge, and then see if I've got troubled with something driving me up the wall. Joe Reuben just flicks his fingers, sort of.
Yeah.
And in many ways, Paddy and Harry have an intelligence where they can sort things that I can't come close to dealing with.
Yeah.
Well, I could do them, but it would take well over 10 times longer. Reuben is very much like his dad in that it's really hard to get information out of it. So anything emotional kind of looks at you. But what are you on about kind of look. But when it comes to strength, physical strength, you remember once Reuben plays football, even though he's I think he's 40, 46, somewhere around there, still plays football.
Yeah.
Amongst lads who are a good bit younger.
Yeah.
Now, you remember when to watch how much he was in, would watch him now and again, and he was in the backs, going down the wing, dribbling with the ball, and some young lad came sprinting over with this kind of attitude, off the old door, the still farts off the wall, and next thing, the young lad is lying prostrate on the ground, and Reuben's continuing on up the wing.
Yeah, I've seen people bounce off him on the football field as well. Yeah. He seems to be just like a concrete pillar on that football pitch all the time. Yeah. He does. Yeah, very strong guy, and I don't just mean physically either. Very mentally strong guy. As I said, I always put that down to having you as a role model. I really do. But maybe there's more to that too. Maybe it does come through the genetics as well. It's of course, epigenetics too. But epigenetics is the environment also shapes which genes will actually which genes will actually come to the fore.
A good way of looking at epigenetics gets us from the cruise, and it's incredibly simple, but humanity doesn't acknowledge it at all. Like even if you say to people, huh? So a pants, see a tree, whatever, see a tree growing in the world, what's it got? Sunlight, soil, water, air, it's all stuff from outside, none of it from inside. Inside would be sort of like your genetics, and outside would be your epigenetics. But then with humans, when you try and address that, there's the environment that has an effect on you more so than your internal organism. It doesn't register with people. Yeah, I think there's a cultural upbringing, conditioning. I'd even go so far to say with many is brainwashing, that they think is all about them, is about the food they eat, the supplements, the drugs, all the external medical interventions. I'm just going over here to do some squats.
The sun is shining bright like a colorful aurora. It paints the world in hues of orange and white and more. I'm gonna start packing my bag. I'm leaving all worries behind. Let's go. I need to get my own summer style back. The breeze is playing soft through the palm trees loft. Seem it whispers secrets of each land. The sound of the waves lapping on the beach is like a pleasant melody. Soothe my heart's troubles. Windows down with the wind in my hair. I feel so free. Oh, it's the smell of summer. My summer trip. Take me away, all worries to a place where my heart can play. Under the stars, by the ocean shore, by the vast grasslands. Oh, it's the smell of summer. I find a hidden cove where the dolphins rove. I watch them dance in the ocean's cove. I build a sandcastle high. I touch the summer sky. I sit around a fire, share stories that will never tire. I found the feeling of summer. I fell in love with the feeling of summer. The breeze is playing soft through the palm trees loft. Seem it whispers secrets of each land. The sound of the waves lapping on the beach is like a pleasant melody. Soothe my heart's troubles. Windows down with the wind in my hair. I feel so free. Oh, it's the smell of summer. My summer trip. Take me away.